What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be working on this Bobcat attachment here, and we're going to be fixing some attempted repairs that were made in the past that clearly haven't stood the test of time. Let me show you what we got. So to start things off here, we've got this crack right there, and that kind of goes down the side of the weld there. You can see this was all gobbered up. I don't know what they were doing there. But the major problem why the customer brought this into me is what he noticed is this thing over here. This plate just broke clean right off here. It looks like somebody didn't have enough material to go along the whole way, so they stitched like 3 pieces of 4-inch together. What we got to really do here, I'm going to cut all of this out and I'm just going to replace it with that plate right there. That's 1/4 by 9 inch, and 9 inch is just enough to get us from here over to here. The reason why these welds broke, I'm guessing, other than the fact that they're not great, you can see like this plate here was never beveled. That's an important thing when you're doing stuff like this, is because if you don't bevel that out, the weld has nothing to lay into. So it's really just like trying to glue 2 things together, and it just doesn't work. So I think I'm gonna cut all of this out up to back here and cut it like this and just replace this whole section. And instead of trying to weld 2 pieces together, I'm gonna try and bend one to this angle. I think that'll look 100 times nicer than having a weld seam across the top. I think the customer will be happier with that. And this side, I still haven't figured out what exactly I'm gonna do. I could treat this like a crack repair and try and open that up, or I could do kind of a similar thing that I'm doing on the other side and notch this out, cut it out to here, and just kind of thing. I haven't decided on that yet, but the first thing we can do is cut this old piece out and clean off some of the welds here. This is only 1/4 inch thick steel, so I'm only going to use a 0-tip size torch. I don't know if you guys really care about that, but just like sharing all the details I can. One thing I did just to be a little bit careful is I put a welding blanket over top of the hydraulic lines because I don't need a spark or a barrier or anything weird flying in there and ruining my day. Oh, well, that came off all in one shot. Good. Another thing I noticed while I was poking around in here is that plate wasn't actually welded on the bottom side. It was only welded on the top. So I think that could have been part of the problem here. You'll notice, well, I can't really show you, but if you look up inside there, the inside of this plate here is welded. So I think when we put this back together, we're definitely going to need to do that. Overall, not a terrible cut. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Well, guys, I got everything cleaned up here pretty good. You know, I can do a little bit more once we start fitting the new plate in, but 1/4 by 9 is going to work actually perfect because that is right on the money. So that's going to be good for this side. And then over here, I've decided to make the executive decision that we're going to cut this out and fix it like similar to how we're doing this side. Only because this crack over here goes all the way down up underneath this, and I have no way of really doing that. I could try and attack it from the bottom, but there's not much room inside there. So I think the right call here is to just cut this out and fix it like I did the other side. And just like that, we got the other side here cut up. Now the reason why I used a cutoff wheel down here instead of torching it is because using a cutoff wheel leaves a cleaner edge. Usually I try to leave the torch for things that are in tight spots, like up against this. So now I got to figure out how I'm going to bend this angle here. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take my little level tool, zero this out. I'm going to make sure it's right on the edge. I could probably move it a little bit further this way, just so that it measures from where we're going to attach it to. So we'll zero it out for here, and then we can bring it down here. And so yeah, I'm looking for a 33-degree angle on that piece. And the other side's going to be a little bit different just because of how wonky this front plate is. You can see it's all warped. So on the other side, it's going to be a little bit different. If I take our measurement here and we zero it, and we go to here, so almost about the same, honestly. Okay, so we can get these bent up right up now. Now I'm going to bend this piece before I cut it because I'm going to have the most leverage with leaving the most amount of material on. So I can just push down on here once we heat it up. I'm just trying to line the edge with the middle of that line. I think right about there looks good to me. So this should read 0, which it does. So then we can move this over here. And then right now it says 2 degrees. That's because there's a little bit of flimsiness in here. I'll just make sure to bend it that much further past. So I can fire up the torch now. Beautiful. Just gonna heat it up right on this line. Wherever I heat it up most is where it's gonna want to bend from. I need to be careful that I bend this down evenly because I don't want one corner coming down further than the other and making this an uneven bend. Come on, baby. I think that's pretty darn close. There's like no gap there. That's nice. Well, here we go. I got this thing fit in there. It looks really good. That angle matches. So now that this piece is done, I can cut this off and then we can start working on this side here. I'm just going to do this one the same way I did the other side. So on this piece, since I don't have as much leverage as the last one to just like sit on it, I'm going to use this giant crescent wrench. I love using these things just to bite onto some steel like this. You can really move some things with that. At our level, remember 33 degrees is the number we're shooting for. There we go, she's moving. I think that's it. That's gonna be hot. Well, here's this side. That's not half bad. You know, you could see I'm gonna have to trim a little bit off the edge right here, but the length here looks good. The bend looks pretty good. I'm happy with this. Now in hindsight, as I'm looking at this, we might have just been better to replace the whole thing rather than making like 2 patches. But that's just all hindsight. When you're working on stuff like this, you have to be able to toe the line of making something affordable for the customer and not blow out the budget while also making it quality and something that can last just as long. So this is where I decided to draw that line in just replacing the 2 sections rather than the whole thing. But really, it's that right there is a judgment call, and those are just the things you have to make. Maybe it was the right one, maybe it wasn't, but it's too late to question it now. So we're going to keep rolling. So one of the most critical parts of this repair is going to be making sure that we get enough penetration on our new plates to our existing plates, because that's where it broke last time and we don't need that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bevel this out with a grinder. Now I know a few of you guys in one of my older videos was mentioning that I should use a torch and bevel it that way. The way I see it, if I do that, I'd have to set something up for 3 different angles because of the bend on this piece. If I'm doing something long and straight, it makes a ton of sense to do that. But for this, I can knock this out in a grinder pretty fast. That's not something that I'm too bothered by. Here is the final fin up that I have going on here. I tried to get a little bit of a gap in here so that way we can get full penetration here. There's not as big of a gap, but that's still enough, I think. Then over on this side, it's kind of a similar story. This one I'm going to need to open up a little bit more, I think. There's really no gap in there. So I might take like a cutoff wheel down the middle of it, open that up a little bit more. So yeah, this thing is about ready to weld. So because I'm MIG welding this, I made sure that I took all the mill scale off. That's always the general rule of thumb when you're doing any short circuit MIG welding, just to get the cleanest possible weld. We're just gonna get a nice tack right here. My helmet was still on cut. I'm blind. So everything now looks good fit up wise. I think it's time to start welding this thing out. These ones on the side here, I'm gonna run uphill just because I wanna get that deeper penetration. So, had a little bit more spatter on there than I would have liked, so I just cranked my voltage up a little bit higher. So for this open root weld we're about to do, it's probably going to need 2 passes. So the first one, all I'm really focusing on is getting through there and getting full penetration. And I'm going to start probably from here and go back. Now I'm going to do that section that's just right above it up here. This should be a little bit easier because it's not vertical. That one went a lot nicer, I think. We got some good penetration over there. We didn't get it all along the inside, which basically is just telling me that I should have went a little slower. Overall, it'll still work. So I'm gonna keep cruising along on these welds. I'm gonna give you guys some arc shots whenever I can. Well guys, I've got all the first passes done on everything. This is how the root looks in there. And it just leaves a nice spot to put a cap in. So that's that up there. In the ground, there's the welds there. Other side, kind of a similar story. In there. There. Getting underneath this thing was a little bit tricky, but I was able to do it. There's that. And the back side here looks pretty good. Now it's not full penetration all the way around. In the back there, I got pretty much full penetration on that whole weld. And you'll see on the right side, the only places that I didn't get full pen was where the fit up was maybe just a little bit off, or where the gap was just a little too tight. But that'll last 100 times longer than how this was put together before. For those of you guys wondering what settings I'm running, I'm at 21 volts and about 330 on the wire speed. Well guys, here's the left side. There's the cap there. And over here I had a little bit too much undercut on one side, so I ground that down and I just ran another pass over that just to be safe. It probably wasn't enough undercut to do anything, but I figured better safe than sorry. This side, maybe a little underfilled here. I should have went a little bit slower in this section. But that's not super critical, I don't think. Now there's a lot of guys out there that would consider what we have right now as a job well done. But for me, I still think there's a couple more things that we need to address. Let me show you what I mean. So this was the problem in the first place. This cracked right along here. Now, while we did get this back to what it was like from factory, it doesn't prevent this from happening again. And there's two things that I think we can do to prevent this from doing that. The first one is I want to add a gusset right on the edge here. I think we can do this, and then I'll bend the top over. It'll keep this from bending in that way even further, and it'll also keep this lip from coming up and causing any cracks along here, kind of like what happened on the other side. Because if you remember, the other side was all tore up like that. It was all pushed up. This gusset right here is going to prevent that. The second thing we're going to do is add a plate where the crack was occurring, which is about there. The way we're going to do that is we're going to weld this along the edge here. I'll give it a couple taps of the hammer. It'll bend this side down. Obviously, I'm going to have to grind this weld flush so that this can sit there. And then we'll weld all the way around this. It's the little things like this that are going to keep the customer happy, and at the end of the day, that's the name of the game. Keep the customer happy. So that's the game I'm going to play. So as far as this gusset goes on the side, I'm going to throw a couple tacks on it like this, and then I'm going to hammer this edge so it kind of curves around this thing, like so. There. That looks good to me. That's what we're kind of shooting for there. Something like that. Does this weld have a little bit of undercut? Yes. Is that okay? Yes. Because that is going to do the job. Just like that. Now this flat bar I'm going to do in kind of a similar way. I'm just going to get a nice tack here. I don't like to leave bare metal welds leave the shop just because, like I say, the customer spent all this money on me fixing it, and the last thing he wants to see is those welds start to surface rust a little bit. So we're going to let this leave the shop looking as nice as it can possibly be, plus the metal's still a little bit warm so it'll dry fast. Well guys, that just about does it for today's video. If you liked it, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked it a lot, make sure you subscribe right there because I got a lot of other neat videos headed your way. Thanks for tuning in with me guys. I'll see you next time.